Preserve your baby's umbilical cord within 10 minutes of birth and secure your baby's life forever. Wow. Hi, my name is Patrick Walsh, and this is the Cool Bean Studio right in the heart of Midtown Manhattan, the most exciting city in the world. Tonight, another conversation. Of course, I'm joined by my cousin Maddie's on holiday, so I wore my holiday hat. Do you think I should keep the hat, guys? What do you think?
Oh yeah, yeah,
You
that's a
Keep the
great
should.
hat?
hat.
All
You
right.
should.
Yeah,
So,
you should
so
sell hats like that.
you know what? I think I can, like 50 cents, half a dollar, price of a
Oh no,
cup of
that's
coffee.
a $10 hat if I ever saw it.
I got a nice little
I
thing.
would make that as a signature hat.
Yes, it
Yeah, oh
actually
yeah.
matches, kind of matches, doesn't it? Anyway, Matt, tell us about our guests and tell us what we have in store for today.
Oh, fantastic. Well, the conversation today is about stem cells and what the possibility may be, what's happening right now. Maybe a little bit of a tour through the different kinds of stem cells that are out there now. And my guest today is her nickname is Sangs, and she is from uh, a PhD from the University of Cincinnati. And today she's in New York City. So, welcome to
Yeah.
New York City. She's got a niece that just had a baby, so she's visiting the baby. But she's a wealth of knowledge in the area of stem cells. So, Sangs, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Oh yeah,
Congratulations,
sure.
by the way.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Yeah. So I'm Sangeetha Kandoi, and people just call me as Sangs. I'm currently a visiting graduate student at University of Cincinnati, and I've been working with the stem cell industry since 2005, which is close to about a decade or little more than a decade. And I love being in this stem cell industry because I've seen a lot of potential which has happened with the stem cells over the years. And I wish that we are able to do a lot in this world and make this a really not only hopeful world, but also a world from where a hope turns into a reality and people are happy with the disease free or the, pain free or anything which gives happiness with in terms of relation with the health.
Sangs, well, you're doing amazing things. I'm especially impressed with you being involved in saving the life of this young girl whose story we're about to hear. Matt, you want to fill us in?
This is an amazing, amazing story about a young girl with a blood disease that was helped by stem cells and by this um, young lady below my head here to become cured. And the girl wants to be a teacher. Otherwise, she would have died without this therapy.
Yeah.
Wow. Let me see if I can get it going. All right, guys. Um, okay.
My name is Tamara
That's
Balan.
that's the
I'm
girl.
9 years old.
That's a girl.
What you are going to see is a true story. My story.
Wow. Wow.
You see her bald head, that's because of
I
the
was born in
chemotherapy. So when they
2001.
give this
26
chemotherapy, there is a
November
lot of
is my
hair loss and
birthday.
everything.
My father's name is Senvil Kumar. My mother's
And that's
name
her
is
dad.
Sarojini.
That's her
My father
mom.
was a carpenter and now runs a shop. My mother does all the work at home. She's a housewife. When I was born, my parents were very happy. Then one day, I fell ill.
Wow. Already powerful.
When my child was 1.5, her face became very pale. We were wondering why she wouldn't eat properly or why she
Is
wasn't
this your
very
guy, the
active.
director?
They told us it
No,
was
he's
jaundice.
the dad of
We
that young
treated her for
girl,
jaundice,
Oh,
but
got it.
and
she didn't get
that's the
better.
mom of that young
They told
girl
me to take
who
more
is
blood
suffering
tests.
from
They
thalassemia.
felt it could be something more serious.
And they're
It
they're
was the
poor,
first time
right?
I'd heard
They're
of
very poor. They
thalassemia
cannot
major.
afford anything. So there were a lot of NGOs who came forward to help
Thalassemia
them,
is a
like
disorder that affects red
Dr.
blood
Revati
cells.
Raj. She
Red blood
offered her
cells
service free
are
of cost for the
life-giving cells. They give
transplantation. We
oxygen
offered
to
our
each
service free of
of
cost for
our
processing and
bodies.
tanking the stem cells. So there were a lot of people who wanted to see some potentials out of it, wanted to help the people wanted to tell about the potentials of stem cells.
Yes.
And that's how, collaboratively it became a team effort. And a lot of credit to be given to all these people who have been a part of this team.
Wow.
Yes, absolutely. It's not. It's a team.
It's not
that
a
makes
one-man
it.
job. It's
Yeah.
definitely a team job.
Yes. And it was CellLink, right, that donated the.
Yeah, it was her own sibling. Yeah.
Her own sibling, but they processed it for them for free.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have the money for this.
No, they didn't. They didn't take any charge, both for collection, logistics, processing, storage. Again, no logistics to ship it to the hospital where the therapy is happening. Because when you store the stem cells at the vapor phase of liquid nitrogen, which is like minus 140 degrees centigrade to minus 196 degrees centigrade. So even when you ship, you got to maintain the same temperature so that you don't lose the viability and it is intact when it is being used for the transplantation.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's go.
I'm just getting choked up here thinking about the parents that have this kid that's dying in front of them.
And imagine
Like there's
the
nothing
happiness
they can do.
the parent would have currently to see that baby, happily going to school, making a lot of friends, and coming up in life and everything.
Yeah.
Let me advance this. I'm just gonna. Is there a part that you think I should go to?
The kid was going for transgender, how much must have suffered, and then they had a child that had the same blood disease. Then they terminated the pregnancy.
Yeah, they
and then
second pregnancy, and then they went ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So, is there another part that I should maybe I'll go through to the middle?
How about the end?
You want to go straight to
the end?
Hold on.
I mean, the major credit of this goes to LifeCell, which is a company which came forward in offering their service free of cost for, and giving hope to the parent for, to go plan, come, a lot of financial support, mental support.
Yeah.
That counts a lot when you go on a long run.
Wow.
That's a cord blood. That's a cord blood.
That was the cord blood, yeah.
That's how we process in the processing room, maintaining,
Mm-hmm.
class 100,000 standards. And that's how you serve it. See? You see those cassettes?
Yep.
Wherein you store it at the liquid nitrogen. Yeah, this is my big boss.
Yeah. I mean, boss man.
Yeah, he's the big boss. There's no replacement for this big boss.
Nothing. Nobody like him, right?
Nobody. There can be no replacement.
Yep.
That's the cryosome machine.
He's the one. Yep. That's the hematologist.
Yeah, that's a hemato-oncologist who did the transplant for the baby.
Wow.
That's the dad.
That's a dad.
Huh.
He's like, you won't believe how much we had to walk through to get here.
The right side is the baby which is undergoing for the transplant, and the left side was the baby who gave the stem cells to her sister.
Her brother. That was her brother who gave it.
Yeah, the little one.
All right, we're going to snap to the end. I'll tell you, when this kid talks here, when you see this kid's, let's get the, hold up.
Right.
Look at this. Look at this.
She's much better now. She eats well and plays too.
The kids, they didn't used to play with her,
Yeah.
It feels very
because I mean, you would want your so now he's the man. He's the man behind all this plot. He's the CEO of LifeCell, MD, managing director, who had given the complete freedom to us to go away with this.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And now she's
back to school.
She's waiting for her hair to grow. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to be a part of this success story.
You could tell that guy's smart.
I want my daughter to become a doctor.
He's a businessman, so obviously he would be.
To become a teacher.
Yeah, right. Well, I think he's smart because he funded the right thing. He saw a good thing.
He funded. He not only funded financially.
Yeah.
He funded mentally.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, that's all about LifeCell.
Yep.
I would say currently we have classified stem cells or we have termed stem cells based on their source or based on their potential. So if you go with based on their potential, uh, or based on the source or based on general classification, we generally had differentiation as adult stem cells and embryonic stem cells.
Yes.
So with the name, I mean, you could just figure out embryonic stem cells are something which we take out from the embryo. And
Right.
because of lot of ethical concerns with that, the
Yes.
research has been limited. And we still wanted to explore those potential with something which we could do without any ethical concerns. And then
that's where you got to cord blood and placental stem cells.
Yeah.
And
So
this
that
is
is what
after
No,
birth.
no, no. I mean, cord
Yeah.
blood and the placental would be termed into adult stem cells and not embryonic stem cells. So I think just go up, go up, go up. I mean, if you just go up a little more, little more, little more, go, 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 go. We had that picture. Just go up, go up, go. Yeah, yeah. So there you see something called as totipotent.
Pluripotent? Yes, pluripotent. Right,
Toti.
right in the middle.
The second one, the toti.
Oh,
You see that?
Toti. Yep.
Yeah. So
T-O-T-I.
yeah,
Live on that. It's
yeah.
just
So toti is nothing but where the embryo is able to form the entire human body. So toti stands for total.
okay.
Toti stands for total. So anything which the entire human cell types, everything could be formed along with the placenta. You call it as an embryonic stem cells. And once your entire cell or everything is being formed, so then there comes something called as a pluripotent and adult stem cells.
Yes.
So adult stem cells, again, you have various classification. You have hematopoietic stem cells, you have mesenchymal stem cells.
Mesenchymal, I've heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah, so the only difference between the hematopoietic and the mesenchymal stem cells is, so hematopoietic stem cells are potentially being used for any blood related disorders.
Okay.
Something like leukemia,
sickle cell anemia. Yeah.
sickle cell anemia. Yeah, so anything with blood related disorders, you go for this source of hematopoietic stem cells. And anything in common.
Does that come from like hemoglobin, hema, the HEMA?
Yeah, right. So, and the sources of all these hematopoietic stem cells are usually cord blood.
Cord blood.
So the blood which is there in the umbilical cord and which are usually discarded as a biological waste.
Yeah, non-ethical. Yes.
Yeah, so they're non-ethical. So what they do is once the baby is born, they clamp the cord and they separate the baby with the cord, and we reach at that particular spot, we remove the clamp, and there are like 2 arteries and 1 vein which is running in the umbilical cord. So what we do is we just pierce into that vein and collect the umbilical cord blood. And when you process that umbilical cord blood, you're able to isolate a lot of hematopoietic stem cells. Now that when you preserve, it can be used for any blood related disorders. There are like a lot of disease on which the research is being used. So the most commonly they are being used for thalassemia, leukemia, sickle cell anemia.
Yes, the blood.
I have a list of disease which I could share with you. So that is like one major thing. But you have something which you have to keep it in mind when you use this hematopoietic stem cells. So they go, I mean, you just can't use your stored hematopoietic stem cells for my therapy, because we have something called as a HLA match, which we got to do. It's something like a blood group. Like if you have
like A or O,
and if I have a B, I can't take yours.
No, I get it.
We have something called as a HLA match, which we got to do. And if the match is generally, we just look for like 6 antigens. So if the match is 4 and above, then I could use it.
That's awesome. Hey, one question. Now, do you think that it is important for people now, anybody that's listening that is of childbearing age, that they should bank their placental and cord blood cells?
I certainly would want people to bank it.
Yeah.
Because number one, they are not expensive. They are never expensive. When you see somebody who could be saved from any disease or who could get life from this.
How much are they?
I mean, it is close to around $1,200 to $1,500. It's not
A
only
year?
for processing. No. It's for
Okay.
21 years.
Oh, for 21. That's
21.
one cost for 21 years?
Yeah, it's one cost for 21 years, which includes your collection, your processing, your storage, your logistics, and everything.
That's
And
awesome.
and it varies from company to company. Actually,
Yeah.
every company has their own standards.
How
But
many companies are there about?
now there are a lot in the market,
Yeah.
and you will have to be very specific
Well,
when you choose.
some people you have to be accredited, right, by the
Yeah,
blood
yeah,
bank.
right. So,
How many are you accredited?
so there are a lot of people who are entering into this accreditation, because accreditation is very important, not only to have a quality check on these cells,
Yeah, of
but
course.
it is also important if we are able to give even the therapy service along with the quality check.
Right.
Nice.
I know a woman that that she does that for a living. It'd be great to get her on one of these podcasts or streams. She was telling me that it's really a no-brainer, and and it is picking up. There's a lot more demand for it. The increasing demand is getting there with the knowledge. So the more people that know, I mean, if I was to have a baby, I'd be like right on it, signed, sealed, delivered, pack it up, let's do it. So yeah, it
Yeah.
makes sense.
I'm bummed. I'm bummed. I had 3 and they asked us and we said, nah, but we didn't have somebody really kind of saying, hey, or I didn't take the time at that time to say, yeah, this would be good. So I remember thinking, I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but we just had a baby. So it's kind of like you can't think of anything else. You're just all about the baby. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
No, that's one of the precious gift which you could give for your baby.
Yeah.
That's like a kind of, like how we do health insurance, car insurance. So that's a kind of biological insurance which you give for your baby.
Wow. Well said. I mean, anybody that sees this stream, you would think would want to, if they had a baby, they'd want to purchase that, right? I mean, that
Right.
just
I
makes
would
sense.
definitely recommend, because I have seen a lot of success stories in front of my eyes, and the baby coming it off and going all the way to the school, back happily, making friends, which is something very satisfying. And you would want to promote this at any cost. I know
wait,
there are
wait a
some
minute.
disadvantages, there are some limitations, but we are
Sangs,
working hard.
you're talking about that link that you sent on, which I forwarded on in my LinkedIn account. But
Okay.
it was a young girl who ended up with this white blood cell. I really encourage people to, I don't know, Pat, can you put the link up? Can you share? Did you have that link? I don't know. But it's like a 14-minute video. We
What's
listened to it on the
what's
way
her
down here on vacation, and I was blown away. I was like crying in the car.
what's the
This
girl's
little
name? I
girl
read about it, but I forgot.
had a blood disorder. The family then tried to have another kid, but they found out it had the same disorder. It's this white blood cell disorder. I'm sorry, red blood cell
It's
disorder.
thalassemia. Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's very it's pretty common in India. It's like an Asian thing.
It's pretty common in the world itself, actually.
So this girl was dying. I mean, she was dying, right?
Yeah. Right.
Prognosis is she was
Yeah.
dying. So they harvested. They had these. The parents went on to have another pregnancy and found out that it was a match, which is important because it's like a blood match,
Yeah.
A, O, B. So they had the right match. They took is it the placental and the cord blood? They
You just
extracted
took
cord
cord
blood
blood. Yeah.
and they processed the cord blood. They gave the little girl chemotherapy and like eradicated all of her cells. I mean, this poor girl was in the hospital for years. Am I right, Sangs? Like
Yeah.
years.
She was there. I mean, she used to go for blood transfusion every month because her
Every
body
month.
was not able to make the red blood cells.
How old was she when she was going for blood transfusions?
7 years onwards.
She's 7 years old and she's going in for
Yeah.
blood transfusions every single month. Every
Yeah.
month. Oh my God. So anyways, they go with the stem cell option and they gave her full chemo. All her hair falls out, this poor little girl. She then gets a full transfusion with the new stem cells, the blood stem cells.
Her younger brother's stem cells, actually.
And then what happened? What started to happen?
Oh, was it her younger brothers?
Yeah, it was her younger
Wow.
brother. It was her younger brother because there was a sibling match because the parent couldn't bank her stem cells.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
they planned for the next pregnancy and they found they wanted to do some prenatal testing before they could deliver the second baby.
And
But when they did the prenatal testing, they found that even that baby was affected with thalassemia. So they had to go for abortion.
they
Then they
terminated
planned for the third baby, which was healthy. So they planned to bank that baby stem cell and use that baby stem cell to treat.
to save the little girl.
Wow.
And they saved this little girl's life.
Yeah.
That's what I.
You know what's wild is when I was sick as a baby, probably about 1 or 2 years old. Probably I think it was I was 1 year old. I think Matt's father gave me blood. If I remember, we have to ask your father about that. But I mean, I think
will
I think that
ask
was I think that was a match or something.
Oh, okay.
So
That's great.
yeah,
Yeah, it's good when people help people. It's the best.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, that's something which you can never repay back in your life. Yeah.
So Sangs, I have a question for you. Since
I owe my
we have
Uncle Wally, I guess.
Uncle
If the
Wally,
story, if the
you wanna
story,
get him on here?
if
I'll
the
get
story,
him on here. If you want to get him on.
if the story checks out, is he there?
He's
Is he with you?
He's not with me. No, I'm with the other side.
I'd have to
But,
find that out.
Okay, so I don't have any stem cells banked for my family or myself. Being born in 1970, it wasn't a procedure.
Yeah, I know.
So here's the thing. I've heard a lot about iPSC cells ever since 2007.
7. Yeah. Yeah. 2006, we had the first breakthrough about IPS, but that was with the animal model.
Yeah.
And 2007, we had the next breakthrough.
Yeah.
But that was now with the human model. And since then, the research is in progress for almost like 1 decade.
All right. But the dude that did it was from Japan. The guy that.
Yeah, Shinya Yamanaka. He won the Nobel Prize for this.
Yeah. So let's give him a shout out. Shinya, pull him up. Can you pull that man up? I want to see him because he made a tremendous.
Yeah. I think you must be able. I mean, just you could just type his name and then you would be able to pull it up.
How do you spell it?
SHINYA. Shinya, and then his last name is Yamanaka. YAMANAKA.
Yeah, I want to see this dude because you tell me, Sands, what did he do?
So what he basically did was he wanted to bring in the same potential, and he wanted to use he's the guy. He's the guy. He's the guy whom we are following, and we hope we are able to do some justice to the research which he had started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hear that?
We are just babies in front of him, but we are working hard.
Yeah, you're standing on the shoulders of giants, right?
Yeah, right. And it's a big responsibility. Yeah, that's the person. That's the
man that did it. Yeah.
That's the man who did it. He got a prize.
Back to the conversation, Pat. Here's the deal. I don't have stem cells banked for myself, but the possibility of iPSC cells, which are induced pluripotent stem cells, are that they can take fat cells and skin cells from my own body and signal them. Tell me if I'm wrong, Sam. They can create a signal and they can turn them into any cell type for my own body.
Right, you're right. So one advantages of iPSC over your hematopoietic stem cells is, so I said hematopoietic stem cells could be used or potentially be used only for blood related disorders. But what if you have other disorders? And what if you don't have your stem cell bank? Then you need some alternatives.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why this man came up with this brilliant idea where he used the skin biopsy.
Yes.
So skin biopsy, the cell what you take out is an adult cell, which performs only a specialized function. So you want to reprogram them back to the totipotent stage.
Back to the pluripotent.
Right? So you got to reprogram that because they have traveled all the way. Now you want to reprogram them back. So the factors what you use to reprogram them back, we call that as Yamanaka factors just to honor him. Yeah. So we don't call it as OCT4, SOX2, NANOG, and all those little factors. We just call it as Yamanaka factors. That's it.
That's well deserved.
Yeah, that's well deserved, and it becomes very easy for the conversation than to list out all those factors.
Hey, try that one out. Yamanaka factor. Yamanaka factor.
Factors.
Go ahead, Pat. You try it.
Yamanaka factor.
There you go.
I
Yeah,
get
there
that.
you
Dude.
go.
Come on.
So you add this Yamanaka factors into
I
those.
want a shirt that says Yamanaka Factor.
Oh yeah, lovely.
I would like that.
That'd be big for the biology world, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody would know.
Right. So you add those Yamanaka factors into the cell. So your adult cell, which was your skin cell, which had the function of protecting your skin, gets reprogrammed back into the embryonic stem cell like cell. So which means now they can be potentially differentiated into
Yes.
220 different cell types of your body, which means if they could get differentiated into so many cells, it can be potentially used for your
My
research.
eyes, my nose, my mouth.
Right.
If here's what, so what I'm going to just kind of summarize what you're saying, because we got to tell them what you're saying
Mhm.
is that if they could take my skin cells and my fat cells and differentiate them into pluripotent stem cells induced with the Yamanaka,
Yamanaka.
Yamanaka factors.
Yamanika. Come on, man. Get with the program.
then I could use potentially bank those or use those for therapies for myself
Right.
with various ailments that I may have. Now,
Yes.
that may include, we're not sure, but in the future, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's.
Yeah. So we are hoping that, with more research coming in, we would know the exact mechanism of how they function for each disease modeling. So IPSC as a disease modeling for various diseases has become one of the hottest area of research.
Mhm.
And the government is putting in a lot of money so that, we could get some potential results from this.
Yeah. So, but what you'd really like is we need is more funding in the area of research.
Yeah, we need a lot of funding because it's just labor intensive. It's just time consuming, and you need to have a lot of patience because you can't just tell the cell stop growing or stop breathing. You just have to act according to their schedule.
Yes.
Mm.
Well, we
That's
should
why,
ask.
we every day when I come back home, me and my mom, the first thing she asked me, she never asked me. Generally, every moms they generally ask like, "How was your day?"
Yes.
My mom would ask, "Did you feed your cells? Are your cells happy?" That's the first question which my mom generally asks
Is
when
she a
I'm at home.
biologist?
No, she's just a housewife.
Oh, that's
She has
funny.
hardly passed her high school, but then
Oh.
she's so particular about my cells. She's like, "Are your cells happy? If your cells are happy, you'll be happy. So I don't
Yeah.
need to ask about you." So every day,
Yeah.
even on Sunday, she would call, "Just go to lab, feed your cells, and come," so that they don't starve.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Well, I got to
recently,
compliment your mother because I think being a housewife and a great mother is probably the most under, you know,
appreciated.
appreciated job that is on the planet Earth because that's like the best thing that you could ever have is a supportive mother and someone that lets you fly and be free and supporting and all that kind of stuff. So look, she got a wonderful daughter in you, right? So she's got to be very proud of you.
Oh no, I love my parents, and
Yeah,
you can never see any supportive parent like my parents.
that's
My mom
awesome.
and dad, every day they would just text me on WhatsApp. They'll just text me, "Are your cells okay? Are your cells alive? Are your cells breathing?" That's the first
Wow,
thing they
that's
ask
great.
every day.
That's
That's
great. That's like such a supportive way to like be so accepted
Right.
in like what you've carved out for your future, and then be part of
Yeah.
it. That's neat.
That
Yeah,
is something which kicks me that I should just keep moving even if my experiment fails.
yeah.
I should just keep working. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you believe that there's going to be tremendous breakthroughs in the area of disease. Um,
That's what I believe with the current research, which
with
I am currently doing it.
yes,
And I
and
just hope that it goes to a higher level.
there's thousands and thousands of people like you that are working on stem cells in various disease states, right?
Yeah, it's just being flooded. Every possible stem cell industry is now wanting to have an iPSC disease model for Alzheimer's, for ophthalmology, for cardiovascular disease, for orthopedics, for cartilage repair, for every possible things they just want to bump in.
Yeah, they're going to bump it up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
So
gonna-
what was the holdup years ago? I don't remember how many years ago, but I would think it's I don't know during the Bush years at some point that it was like no stem
Embryonic.
cell. Yeah, that was all
It was
embryonic
embryonic
stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Still,
I mean, this iPSA and embryonic are almost similar potentials. Even embryonic could get differentiated into 220 different types.
Yes.
iPSA also could be get differentiated into 220. So iPSA is just a replacement for embryonic, kind of replacement for embryonic without any ethical concerns.
No ethical concern. And
because you don't destroy an embryo to make this.
but I mean, I remember it might have been, I don't know, 15 years ago, something like that, that they were talking about it, but people weren't really.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay. People weren't hip to regenerative medicine back then. You know, they weren't hip to stem cells and all this great new science
well,
that
some
has
people
happened.
were.
Some people were, but so they were arguing. They were like, "Hey, no, this is a wonderful area to save lives."
We have controversial discussions even today. There are 50 people who believe, 50 people who don't believe. I mean, I totally accept and understand the limitations and the long road which we need to still travel to, gain that confidence and then to bring into practice. But I feel, it's only the hard work which will eventually, give some fruit, and we should just not give up. I mean,
Yeah, and the fact that we've already had success after a lot of hard work with that little girl.
I know there are some failures, but then there have been success also.
There's
so
been
you
successes.
cannot see that. You cannot just hide that.
You can't. It's the truth.
It's just what I saw was, well, we're going to make robots and we're going to make clones and that's what people seem to be scared of. So I feel like now people are starting the conversation has been passed around so much that they've seen, they hear stories of this young girl and they hear people getting cured of diseases and such that it says to them, oh, okay, well, this makes sense. You know what? I should probably do this now. You have a baby and you can get offered.
Oh yeah.
So.
And there are multiple companies, which have started banking, and they've started to give a lot of compensation if they don't bank it properly. So, I mean, when you have this advantage, just take it over. I mean, there's no harm. I mean, you pay EMI for your cars, you pay EMI for your phones. I mean, you just have to plan it. That's it.
Right.
Yeah, it could cure some disease that they have.
And you never know. You don't have a promise that your kid would have a disease-free life all through her life or all through his life. Why do you want to take a chance when this small little step of yours could make some difference or may not make some difference, or
right.
It's just like a wealth from a waste. That's all I could say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is groundbreaking stuff, and it needs to get out as much as possible. So,
Great.
what are some other things that you think are really important that can pique people's interest?
I just texted it to you.
Yeah, so I mean, Matt was talking about adipose tissue, stem cells, and everything. So that is something which we haven't spoken yet. So we spoke about hematopoietic stem cells, we spoke about embryonic, we spoke about iPSC. Now there's something else, one more extra thing, which we call it as a mesenchymal stem cells. Now that is again an adult stem cells, but then that is used for your non-blood-borne disorders. So like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. So those are some areas where mesenchymal stem cells are being potentially used for research, and eventually I hope it would be in the clinical trial stage very soon, and for the therapy. So now when you see the sources of these mesenchymal stem cells, just like how we get or we potentially are able to isolate or obtain this valuable hematopoietic stem cells, which in short we call it as HSC, from the umbilical cord blood. Now in case of umbilical cord tissue, you have two important advantages. Number one.
Real quick, doesn't Pat look like a Picasso right now?
I'm Pat Casso.
Yeah, so
go on.
Number one advantage is unlike the hematopoietic stem cells, where your major source is your umbilical cord blood. Mm-hmm. Now, in case of mesenchymal stem cells, you have multiple sources. You have the cord as such, you have the placenta, you have adipose tissue, you have hell a lot of sources, to derive this mesenchymal. You have this menstrual blood, the menstrual cycle which every woman goes through every month. So the blood which comes out is again a rich source of mesenchymal stem cells, which could be also collected and banked and extracted mesenchymal stem cells. So that is also something which Cryocell International had initially started, which is based in Florida. So these are like, and bone marrow obviously is a gold standard for both hematopoietic stem cells and mesenchymal stem cells. But because, I mean, though the potentials of bone marrow stem cells are literally large, but then the person has to go through that invasive surgery.
Yeah. Ow.
Yeah. But then when you go for this umbilical cord blood, cord tissue, you don't have this invasion procedure. So it's pretty much simple.
Well, here's a question for you. These mesenchymal stem cells, since they're not going to be used with the blood-based diseases,
Disorders,
they're going to be dealing with other disorders of
like
just
nervous.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that would be possibly the type of cell that would be used for like a knee replacement if you're going to try to
Right.
create
You're right. You're perfect. Yeah.
like a lining of stem cell blood inside of the knee joint. So,
Right. And one major advantages of this mesenchymal stem cells, which we in short call it as MSC, so you don't have this rejection criteria which you see in HSC. In HSC, you got to do a match.
Yes, it's blood-based. Right.
Yeah, to use it for transplant. But in MSC, you don't have a rejection. So any XYZ MSC can be used for me or for you or for anybody.
Right. They have no rejection yet because they're young.
There's no rejection.
Yeah. So, but that's the same possibly as iPSC, but iPSC has not been studied as extensively as mesenchymal.
No, not at all. Because this iPSC has been there just for the decade. Yeah. So it would take a while, to explore. Unlike MSC and HSC, which has been there for more than 2 decades.
Yes. So MSC, though, it's non-invasive, it's non-ethical, but it is still placental-based or cord blood-based.
Cord blood-based, adipose tissue-based, men's. And something interesting, this milk teeth which falls for the baby when they are like 10 or 11 years, the milk teeth also is a rich source of mesenchymal stem cells. So when the teeth falls down, they send the teeth to the company and then ask the company to extract the mesenchymal stem cells and store it.
Spin them and
one advantageous for the parent who haven't banked their baby's cord tissue stem cells. So this milk teeth becomes the next source.
Well, that's good. But I mean, here's my question for you is if the iPSC cells may act with the same efficacy as a mesenchymal cell.
Become silent for the
while. Why are we even worried about it? Because they'll be able to pull my skin cells and fat cells whenever I need them, and then a month later we'll have the cells I need.
So the only thing is MSc, HSC research has been there for the long, and IPC has just started. So you don't want to take a chance. So you want to go with both.
Yes, I understand, but I mean, if I'm collecting teeth. You know what I mean? I might as well, if we do the due diligence with iPSC, it would seem that we could actually
it will just blow
help a lot more people. Like once that's known, then that can help anybody, any human being, and possibly a lot of animals too, for that matter.
Right. I mean, it starts with animal research and then only it comes to human research.
Yeah.
So
You really think it's possible that could really
I'm very positive.
You're being positive.
I'm positive. Yeah, I'm positive. Though I know we need to travel a long road ahead, but I'm positive.
That's cool.
But you see it happening.
Right. I see it happening. And you know what? From the research, what I have done, I have made iPSC cells to the beating cell stage.
Yes,
have you ever seen? Yeah, cardiac, right. Have you ever seen the urine cells coming all the way to the beating stage? I have made it with my hands. So why don't I believe? So that is like one small base for us now, non-science people to understand that why I believe.
Yes. Way to go. Good job.
Wow, pretty amazing story. And pretty amazing science. And it's just cool to keep seeing all these breakthroughs and all these smart people joining us for our podcast. And we really appreciate you coming on here for a second time. And
thanks.
Mr. Vacation over there, who's in the woods or wherever he's at.
Yeah. You should be in the woods. You look like a gnome.
I am a
Oh,
gnome.
yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm a city gnome. I'm gonna take my vacation hat off here.
I'll come over tomorrow and pick up that hat from you.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can do that. I'll give that to you as a souvenir for New
That's
York.
good.
But I would love to treat you for lunch or dinner or whatever.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, it's okay. We
No,
could
I
just
really
catch up.
would. I really would love to hear more about your wild adventures on the regenerative medicine in the regenerative medicine world.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, we're very excited about it. I mean, it plays into a piece of everything we're looking at, which is stem cell therapy as one. Bioprinting is another one that we're very interested in, and
Yeah, even
that's
I'm curious about that. I just have a baseline knowledge, but I don't have an interior knowledge on that.
well,
And I
why
look
don't,
forward to
yeah,
grab something in that.
I want to
that's great.
challenge you to learn more because you can be our eyes and ears on that science front because
Yeah,
we have
do our research for us,
yeah.
right?
Matt's
Yeah.
on the case right now. I'm falling behind a little bit, but
You're doing
I
great,
intend to
Pat.
catch up.
Thanks for setting all this up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you guys for having me.
yeah, and then
It
we're
was
gonna
my
do
pleasure
something.
to
We're gonna
talk.
do something next week. And Matt, you want to give us a preview of next week's show?
Well, next week, I think what we're going to talk about, it's a secret right now. We'll figure
Oh,
it out.
okay.
All right.
I
We'll
look
get
forward to hear your secret.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you so much. And if you want to touch base, I'd love to get a coffee with you or a glass
Oh,
of wine
sure.
or something the other
I'll just
time.
work on my schedule and I will let you know, and then we could just catch up.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Be
Sangs,
good. Thank you so much for your time.
Sangs, why don't you send me your email
Yeah, sure.
and I'll send it to Pat.
Oh, sure. Definitely. I would. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
All right,
Bye.
guys. Take care.
Good night. Yeah.
Matt, got you last, brother.
Yeah.